harbor of Sydney, Nova Scotia, rides at anchor one of the strangest craft ever built for the Atlantic crossing. A fugitive from the local brewery has been made seaworthy by Charleston and Peter Olson. The barrel is specially fitted out with keel, mast, and sail. Mark is a would-be repat in reverse, having recently been demobbed after overseas service with the Canadian Army. Unfortunately, when all ready to sail, the mast splinters. Now the adventurers say they will have to wait until spring to make the journey to Blighty. Even a motorcycle was to be carried by Charlton and Olson. There's no telling just what you'll find in a beer barrel these days. It's lucky the contraption isn't moored on the UK side of the ocean. One dark night it would probably turn up missing. The repat schedule would then have added to its list of transport one Atlantic barrel. The sword is beaten into the plowshare. Tires from Toronto, great rolls of canvas from Nova Scotia, lumber from British Columbia, all are unloaded at a large Ontario plant. Shell cases, guns, and small arms go into the great melting pot to become molten metal. It, in turn, is poured for purposes of peace. The molds shape parts for a dozen types of farm machinery, which will be exported to Europe to aid its agricultural reconstruction. Large gasoline motors are turned out to provide the motive power for great self-propelled combines. The production line, geared to peacetime needs, rolls ahead and high. A 45-bushel grain tank is welded in record time. It is also a part of the combines, which are turned out at the rate of 9 a day from one factory alone. All are ordered by UNRRA, together with dozens of other farm implements, from horse plows to dump rakes. As the Dominion is supplying 27% of UNRRA's farm machinery commitments, Canadian machinery factories are hives of industry. The finished product goes to the four corners of Europe, to France, Holland, Greece, Scandinavia, Poland, and Czechoslovakia. Thus, Canadian industry, in a quick changeover to peacetime production, fulfills two tasks. The first is to aid in the reconstruction of Europe, and the second to lay the foundations of future Dominion trade. Under the shadow of the Blitzreich Chancellery, Berlin's kiddies congregate to take part in a great evacuation scheme. Once again, the British are evacuating children. This time, however, it is not from their own city of London, but from Germany's battered capital. With the housing and food situation desperate, 30,000 German children ranging in age from 4 to 14 years are leaving Berlin's British zone. Their destination is the district of Oldenburg, controlled by the CAOF. Allied troops supervise the move, which is run by the German Red Cross. After documentation and a physical check by German MOs, when all troubles are put to rights, the youngsters are ready for the last lap of the trip to their new homes. Natives of the Oldenburg area have volunteered to take the children into their houses for an indefinite time, so the big migration nears its end. Exercise Stork is another step in the Allied plan to restore Germany to a measure of order. At Oshawa, Ontario, the first post-war automobile rolls off the assembly line. The resumption of civilian production marks the completion of a great plan. More than 900,000 man-hours of labor were needed to complete the reconversion program. Now the first fruit of the great task nears completion. the manufacturing peak will not be reached until next spring, a lot of Canadians will soon be investing in a brand new super-duper model. The first sedan to be completed is turned over to Major C.A. Bell, MC of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Equipped with special driving aids, it will be used by the Shaughnessy Hospital in British Columbia in teaching more amputation cases to drive. Canada's first or Canada's finest. At New Westminster, BC, the British refrigerator ship Columbia Star loads aboard the world's record egg shipment. 34 million shell eggs are bound for the United Kingdom. BC poultry farms, noted for their high quality and productive capacity, produce this record cargo within a 30-mile radius of the shipping point. Prize-winning white leghorns go all out for laying eggs for England. At the cold storage plant, 40 girls, specially trained for the shipment, candle and crate the eggs. Millions of new lathes must be rushed through to meet the shipping deadline. Thousands of crates move off to the wharf to be loaded as sailing time approaches. The biggest cargo of eggs ever loaded on one ship at one time anywhere in the world is just about complete. Traveling the all-water route through the Panama Canal, the Columbia Star will be in England in 26 days. Many a British breakfast table will welcome the record egg shipment from BC. In Deticum, Holland, the Fort Garry Horse holds a farewell parade. It commemorates also Cambrai Day in memory of the part played by the regiment in the historic World War I battle. The CO, Colonel Wilson, takes the salute from the Fort Garrys, as well as from troops of Netherlands Boy Scouts and Girl Guides who join in the march past. As part of their program to aid the townsfolk, the Fort Garrys have been running a bus service to take the kiddies to school. Now, for the last time, the old student special loads up for the trip to the Little Red Schoolhouse. An egg and spoon race is the opening event on the farewell Sports Day card. The Canadians have taken on the police force of the town, and the law gives the Canucks a run for their money in hanging on to the hen fruit. In the blindfold race, after the blinkers are put on, anything is apt to happen. The boys put to use the technique learned in the drive through the Low Countries in the jeep pushing competition. It loosens up the muscles for the next event, which is the piggyback wrestling show. Somebody with a diabolical mind evolved the boot mixing contest. The idea is to mix up all the boots in a pile. You run 100 yards in your stocking feet, and then try to find your own boots. As no holes are barred, the man with the boarding house reach wins. Confidentially, the game was designed to get the police with their boots off. However, good fellowship reigns supreme as another group of Canada's ambassadors says farewell before the homeward trek.